everybody, and welcome to another edition of Community Works. I'm Bernadette Welsh, your host. Our show focuses on local nonprofit agencies in our community. Our goal is to educate you, our viewers, about the great work that's going on all around us every day by local agencies and their supporters. When people help their neighbors, everybody benefits. The focus of today's show is literacy. Now, most of us learned how to read when we were in grade school. English is our native language. But for many people in our community, English is not their first language. And while they can speak English and communicate okay, they often cannot read and write in our language proficiently. And that causes a whole lot of problems. So I am so happy to have an area director from Literacy Volunteers, and she's going to answer all of our questions about what goes on at Literacy Volunteers, and her name is Denise Calabrese. Denise, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much. All right, so we usually start off with the mission of the organization. So Denise, whatever it is, I know it changes over time, but what is the mission of Literacy Volunteers?
Well, our mission is to focus on partnerships with tutors, partnerships with students, and partnerships with organizations. And we all work together to help these adult students learn to read, write, and speak English better.
Excellent. And do they have to pay a fee to?
No, it's totally free. We place tutors with students free of charge.
Excellent. And how long has Literacy Volunteers been around? Do you know?
It started in 1975, so I believe that would be like 47 years.
Yeah, 47
46,
years.
47 years, yeah.
Was it like a lady who had this idea?
Yes, she did.
She did? Was it she in Connecticut or?
Yeah, well, no, the original Literacy Volunteers of America started in New York, upstate New York. And then as placing tutors with English speakers to learn how to read. And as time went on, the ESOL population grew. And then she started an ESOL program. And then all of a sudden, different parts of the country start latching on to this idea. And it's more of a, like, Literacy Volunteers of America is the umbrella organization. And we're all individually budgeted and individually run organizations. So Literacy Volunteers of Greater New Haven, that covers my office in the Meriden-Wallingford area, and they cover the Lower Naugatuck Valley office. They're their own entity. So like Literacy Volunteers of Greater Hartford has their own entity.
Excellent.
But we're all under the Literacy Volunteers of America umbrella.
Excellent. So it's like a franchise almost.
It is. It is like a franchise.
That's great. That's great. So could you explain now this process, this program of tutors and students? What is it like?
Well, what we do, a student usually calls us or gets referred by another agency or adult ed. And what we do is we make an appointment with the student, bring them in, we evaluate them. You know, we register them, of course, get their data, and then we evaluate them. It's not a test, so to speak, where it's 0 to 100%. The scoring goes up to 240 something. So it's just a skills evaluation. And we evaluate their skill level in reading and writing. And then what we do is we place them with a tutor, a volunteer tutor, who we train to become a tutor, free of charge, and we place them, it's either one-on-one, or it could be up to 1 to 4, then it's hardly ever more than 4 students.
Okay.
The only time it can be over 4 students if it's a certified teacher, like we get retired certified teachers, and they could teach more than 4 students. But as far as a layperson who volunteers and we train them, they're limited to 4.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And would all the students be Spanish-speaking people?
No. It's English immersion program. So I've actually sat near a tutoring table where there were people from Asia, South America, Europe, all different countries in Asia too, like Mongolia, China. There was an Indian, Eastern Indian, Guatemalan, Egypt, and Kosovo.
Wow. So
all in one table.
So
that was a retired teacher.
Wow. So the teacher has no idea how to speak any of those languages. all that person is doing is going over the reading. Like, do they use like flashcards or basic reading books?
They do some flashcards, they do some curriculum, and then they also just have conversation, because students need to learn how to listen to, not just learn it, but listen to it in a conversational tone.
So in a conversational tone, they need to be able to sit and say, "My name is Bernadette. And then you say, "Yes, that's exactly what it says on the paper."
Right.
If I misread it or if I stumble, then of course the assistance comes in. Is that?
Well, if they're very low level, then we would teach them by modeling. So we would, like, if we're going to teach them to greet someone,
Yes.
or if someone greets them,
Yes.
you would say, "How are you?" And they'll say, "Good." Say, try this sentence, "I am fine," or "I am good." Whatever they're,
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
So we build it from there, and then as they become more advanced, then it's a soft correction. We don't ever tell them they're wrong.
Yes. Okay. That makes
Because
you don't want to
they're
hurt their
not wrong.
feelings.
They're
not.
only doing what they know at this point. And the more they know, the better they'll get.
Good. I like that idea that they're not wrong. They're
not
just
wrong.
acquiring an extra skill. Imagine if you and I had to go to a country where no one spoke English.
Right. That's probably why I don't travel outside of the country.
Denise, I don't blame you. I'm trying to learn Italian, and I'm having a heck of a time. And I'm of Italian ancestry. I speak better with my hands.
Me
Okay,
too.
but you know that. Of course you do. Okay, so we talked about the nature of the program, which I think is fabulous, and that it's free. So your teachers, your volunteers, what's the process? Like, obviously, if a person's a certified teacher and they taught elementary school or reading, that's not a problem.
Right.
But if I were to volunteer, what would you do with me? How would you make me into a tutor?
Well, what we do is we have tutor training, which right now is on Zoom, because when we have a tutor training, the tutor trainer is tutoring everyone from our office that volunteered, from the New Haven office that volunteered, and from the Valley office that volunteered. So since it's area-wide for our agency, it's better to Zoom.
Okay.
And there's 2 nights of Zoom training with the trainer, and the trainer has taught ESOL at
What does ESOL mean?
English for Speakers of Other Languages.
Oh, thank you.
ESL is English for English as a second language. But one summer we had an Italian gentleman come in, and he asked what ESL meant, and we told him. He says, "Well, this is my 5th language I'm learning." So
Wow.
we try to adopt on a regular basis the ESOL for speakers of other languages.
Okay, great.
'Cause-
But I'm sorry, I interrupted you about the Zoom teaching the tutors on Zoom.
So there's two Zoom trainings in the evening for people after work with the trainer, and then there's 2 observations. We want you to observe 2 tutoring sessions, so you understand that it's not painful.
Right, or scary.
Right. And then there's a 3rd session, which is basically they sit with me, and it's the nuts and bolts of my my particular office, where, because every office has different locations that they tutor at.
Right, we're going to talk about that, yeah.
So,
for
so we
sure.
go through all that, and the paperwork. They have to fill out 1 sheet of paper a month.
Okay,
So
so they
that's
have
just
to
attendance.
Yeah, attendance for sure. So the tutors are trained on via Zoom, or they could, I suppose, go to your office if they wanted to. Could they, or no? It really has to be on Zoom.
Well, yeah, because the tutor trainer is on Zoom.
The tutor trainer. I got it. Okay, great.
But they could always come to my office and talk to me if they have
Sure.
questions.
And I think it would be a great thing to come and talk to you, because
Yeah.
you know a lot about it. All right, so there's the certified teacher, there's the tutors. Now let's talk about your students. So which is, I see there's a smile that comes on your face. Where do your students come from? How do they find you? What motivates them? Tell us about your students.
Well, we have 2 types of students. We have English speakers who we train or tutor to become to increase their reading levels.
Their comprehension?
Yeah. And whatever their issue is. It could be
Okay.
comprehension, it could be just vocabulary, it could be grammar. So whatever, we tutor them on that. And then the ESL students, which are 75% of our program in Meriden, they come from all over. They come from all over the world. They come from all walks of life. We've had people come in who've never gone to school. They don't even know how to read in their own language.
Oh, wow.
And then we have people that come in with advanced degrees, pharmacists, doctors, nurses, physical therapists, and they're working at places like minimum wage places because they don't know enough English.
Uh-huh.
So we had one gentleman up in Meriden who was a pharmacist in Morocco, and he came to the United States, and someone found him. They didn't find him, but he was working at McDonald's, and they said, "Oh, where are you from?" because of the accent. Yeah. And he told them, and they said, "What did you do in Morocco?" He said, he was a pharmacist. And what happened was he came into our program, and with 3 years, I think it was around 3 years that he studied with us, he got a job at Protein Sciences in the labs.
No kidding. Wow.
And then he sat on our board.
There, of course, he wanted to give back, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
Yeah,
so, and then we have others that come in who need math help. We do a little tutoring in math.
See, now I didn't know
Yeah,
that. You
yeah.
do a little tutoring in math.
I know in New Haven, well, we tutor 2 students right now in math up in Meriden. There was one young man in New Haven wanted to join the Army, and after taking his ASVABs, his math skills only allowed him to do 1 job.
Oh.
And so we tutored him, I think it was 6 or 8 months, and by the end of that time, he had his choice of 8 jobs.
There you go.
So, yeah, that's success right there.
Yeah, well, see, that's what it's all about, right? It's
some people just need a little boost.
That's right, because we all have different levels of knowledge and expertise and things, and sometimes we just need a little bit more.
Right, that's
sure.
it.
I couldn't agree with you more. Okay, my wonderful director, Alex, is now going to show us some photos, and Denise is going to talk about them. Denise, what are we looking at here?
We're looking at an ESOL tutoring session. They have the standout curriculum, which is it builds on all skills like the grammar, the vocabulary, comprehension, and all these students are at the same. There's different levels, 6 different levels of skill.
Okay.
And depending on the skill level that the student's at, we group them at the same levels. We're not going to put someone at the lowest levels with someone at the highest, because neither one are going to get benefit.
Anything out of it? No.
A little bit, but not full benefit.
Right, for
So
sure.
yeah, so they're on that standout, and the tutor is. It looks like she's doing. I can't tell because it's a little fuzzy.
Yeah, a little bit, but pretty good.
yeah,
It's just she's showing them something. She's probably asking them to repeat what
in the middle, in those words in red, it's probably maybe it's tense. I'm not sure.
For sure.
But
it
yeah.
gives the idea.
Yep, that's what they do. It's a very small group.
And what's this?
This is a basic literacy tutor and student, and they're laughing, so they're having a good time while he's learning.
They're having a good time.
Yeah.
One of them's laughing. It's
Yeah.
a good time. But there you could see also the age of the people that are involved.
Yes.
It's not all all ages, right?
It's all ages.
All
ages.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, our students, we don't take them unless they're out of the public school system already. Like they're not enrolled in public school.
Right, so they're not little kids.
No, they have to be 18 and over. Our students are all adults, 18. Well, it could be 17 and over because some kids do graduate at 17. But, for around about 18 is a nice cutoff. And out of the public school system.
Okay, good.
And then we
good.
help them.
Good, so that our audience will know that you're looking for tutors not to teach children, but that's tutors to teach adults.
Right.
And that's great. So Denise, who helps literacy volunteers? What agencies help you?
United Way of Meriden Wallingford is fantastic.
I love to hear that. I love to hear that.
SCOW, Spanish Community of Wallingford.
Yes.
They give us space to hold our classes.
Yes.
So we have 2 classes on Thursday evening, beginner's class and advanced class, and we have 1 beginner's class on Tuesday morning there. We have individuals usually we're in Wallingford, so we'll stay in Wallingford. The Wallingford Library, we have one-on-one tutoring going on there.
Cool.
So they have space for us. And then going into Meriden, the Meriden Library is closed down. So so they're at the mall, which is not conducive to tutoring because it's a little loud, especially this time of year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So we were very lucky that we partnered with Women's and Family Center of Meriden, and they have space for us, and they said, you can have all the space you want.
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
So I have 2 sessions going on there as well, and we're looking, we're trying to arrange a third between a student and a new tutor. tutor.
Very good.
Where else do we go?
I don't know.
My office. We have tutoring space in my office.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Right in Meriden, which
Right
is
in
good.
Meriden. Yep. Trying to think where else we go.
But that's the way that the community,
Yes.
the wider community can help literacy volunteers by providing space and not
Space.
charging you for it.
Correct.
Right.
Absolutely
Yes,
correct.
Yes, free space.
Free space.
So-
Free. If it's free, it's for me.
If it's free, it's for me. Oh, I love it, Denise. I absolutely love it. Okay, great. So they really are a big part of your success.
Huge part of our success. And the adult ed program, we help each other. Where if a student goes in for the GED
Yes,
and they don't score high enough in math and or reading,
right?
then they send them to us so that we could get them up to par and send them back to adult ed.
Good. And then they could get their GED
Right.
and they have a high
Right.
school diploma.
Right.
Do the schools offer you space?
Actually,
Don't you think
I
they
almost
should?
forgot about this. My pet project. And I
What's your
forgot.
big project, Denise?
I wanted to put ESOL tutoring in the schools so the moms would come
Yeah.
and learn English and learn to read the notices, the 10,000 notices a day that come home.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I started that in September. I started talking with Marissa Cardona it was May,
Yeah.
and by September, October, we started our first class at the Thomas Hooker School, and it's in Meriden, and it's so needed.
So needed and so convenient too.
Yes, it's right in their
it's
neighborhood. They
in-
could walk there or drive or whatever they have to do.
Yeah, for sure.
And the kids see their mom at school. How great is that?
Yes, because it shows them that how reading is not only fundamental, but that adults learn. It's not just a little kid thing.
And you learn your whole life.
You do learn your whole life.
Yep.
I'm learning just by listening
Oh.
to you talk. I didn't know that you guys did math. I had
Yeah,
no
a
idea.
little bit, not much, but
yeah, but
yeah.
still, it's something I didn't know. So I learned something today by talking to you. That's fantastic. Okay, so there we talked about the programs,
Mm-hmm.
the locations. We're talking about the locations. How do you measure success? How do you know that somebody can be sent for their GED or not? How do you know when they're ready?
Well, there's two kinds of success. So the one success that you're talking about is, well, we use the same skill assessment as adult ed. The exact same state certified, state, authorized evaluation. I hate calling it a test, evaluation.
yeah, evaluation.
So when they come into our program, we give them the evaluation. We call that a pre. And then after they're in 25, 30, 35 hours, we give them a post and we see where they're going and what areas are their skill levels increasing and what areas are they maybe struggling with.
Okay.
And then we could adjust our tutoring approach. So that's a way to test their skills is what their success is, how their skill levels are climbing. But my personal favorite
yes.
is the anecdotes that I get, that they got their driver's license,
Aw.
that they got their citizenship. One mom came in so happy that she was able to go to the doctor for the first time without her daughter
Yeah.
and understand him
Yeah.
and answer his questions.
Yeah.
She was ecstatic.
She was empowered.
Yes.
She was empowered.
Yes.
She could stand on her own, and she didn't need her daughter to.
Yep. And her daughter was in 5th grade.
Oh dear, she needed her.
She had to pull her out of school and bring her to the
Oh,
doctors.
that's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's
that was a huge win.
That-
And of course, the Moroccan gentleman that was a
Yes.
win.
Yeah, that is amazing.
Yeah.
That is totally
Yeah.
amazing. So there are different ways. There's a standardized way of learning, that
Mm-hmm.
measuring success, and there's somebody that tells you that they've succeeded in a way that they could not have succeeded without literacy volunteers.
Exactly.
That's huge. I love it. I just absolutely love it. All right. So now we got to talk about money. Nothing
Always.
goes on without
Yes,
money.
we'll take it.
Yes, we'll talk about money and funding. So, do you apply for grants? Do you accept donations? How do you get the money, Denise?
Any way we can.
Anyway, of course
We do apply for grants, a lot of grants, a lot get denied for whatever reason, and a
Okay.
lot get funded.
Okay.
So we apply to grants. We right now we're running our annual appeal, so look for the envelope in your mailbox and write a check out. And the checks don't have to be big.
That's a good point,
you know,
right?
yeah, because this is the way I look at it. Coca-Cola does not make $1 billion on one bottle,
No.
but they sell 1 billion bottles.
There you go. That's a
So-
whole lot of bottles.
So if everyone just sent in $20 or $10,
yes.
that would be huge. Huge. We have 1,000 people on our list, and if everyone sent in $20, that'd be $20,000.
That is.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes. No.
I mean,
do
not
exactly
everyone could
what you
write
mean.
out a $1,000 or $500 check,
Yeah.
but most people could, even if it's $5.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Every little bit, it adds up. Just like everyone puts coins in their piggy banks.
Yes.
That's what it's like. It adds up.
It absolutely adds up. I couldn't agree with you more.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of people do get overwhelmed when they listen to my show and everybody's looking for help and for donations and things. But again, a little bit for somebody that wants to help another member of our society learn how to read.
Right.
I mean, how rewarding is that?
It's great.
It's great. So they learn about literacy volunteers and they can donate to literacy volunteers by going to the website.
Yes, they can. We have a donate button there.
There we does. We have a great donate button. And look at the screen right now,
Yeah.
everybody. And you can see that there is that literacy volunteers. There's the all-important website. Go to the website, www.lvagnh.org. And what do those letters mean? Denise?
Literacy Volunteers of America, Greater New Haven.
Greater New Haven, because you are your franchise, your
Right.
area.
So we go.
yeah.
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 So
yeah.
we go from Guilford, down south, Guilford,
Yes.
and east to West Haven,
Okay.
Orange.
Yes.
We go up the valley, Shelton,
Yeah.
Derby, Lower Valley,
Right.
Woodbridge, Bethany, New Haven, North Haven, Northford, Brantford,
Wow, it's a lot of towns.
North Brantford, Wallingford, Meriden. Yeah,
That's
lots
a lot of towns.
Yes.
So that's
we
great.
cover all that
We
area.
call those, and they saw the phone number, and we'll bring that
Yep.
back again because we want people to go to that website.
Mm-hmm.
And I went. The website is very well done. You could read about things, and you can donate.
Yep.
So
Just push that button.
Push the button. Okay, so Denise, I'm going to be telling everybody now, push the button at www.lvagnh.org and donate. And there's that phone number, 203-774-0722. Call. Denise will probably pick up the phone.
I'm the only one in the office. I will definitely pick up the phone. And if I
Denise will
don't
pick
pick up the phone, I'm at a meeting.
All right. Okay, that's great. Okay, so Alex is telling us we've got some minutes left, so we're going to use them to our best advantage. Talk to me about the Scrabble tournament. Alex is going to put up some pictures for the Scrabble tournament. There you go. So tell us about what happens with Scrabble and donating and literacy volunteers.
Well, Scrabble is our major fundraiser so far. We're trying to think of other ones, but this
Okay.
is our major one. It's going to be in the early spring at some point. We haven't secured a venue yet, but what we do is we sell
Tables?
tables of 4. So you have a team of 4, and you play as a team. So you don't sit at you and your 3 friends aren't at each other's throat.
Right.
You're kibitzing. You're trying to figure out together how to make the highest board.
Right.
And how does that beat the other person? Because everyone gets the exact same tiles in the exact same order.
Oh, I love it.
So you could have 6 consonants, and you all have the same 6 consonants. So let's say who's really a good Scrabble player. And then we also give, because not everyone is a good Scrabble player, but they love literacy volunteers, so they buy a table, and they dress up, and they may win a prize for the crazy costume.
Great. So we have some other Scrabble pictures, don't we, Alex? There's another one.
There's Prentice
Collaborating.
Printing right out of Meriden.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure. That's great.
And
then
if you see in the back, there's the
oh, they're dressed up like Dr. Seuss.
Yep.
Oh, great. So they're just there for support.
yeah.
Yeah, because not everybody can play Scrabble
No,
and have fun.
they're playing Scrabble. They may not be winning, but
They're
they have
playing.
great hats.
They got great hats. Oh, and do we have another one, Alex? Yep. And look at that. They're dressed up the
That's the
same.
Wallingford Library.
The Wallingford
Jane
Library.
Fisher on the left is the bigwig there, the executive director.
What's his name?
Her name?
Her.
Jane Fisher, the one on the
Oh,
very
yes,
left.
Jane Fisher. Good
Yep.
for you, Jane.
Yep.
Great. Okay, I think that's it. Alex, is that it for the pictures? Yes, we're back live. Okay, so that was your big
Fundraiser.
thing. In the spring, we're going to look for it in
Yes.
the mail. We're going to,
Yep.
people are going to go to the website and find out what it is
Yes.
because they wouldn't want to miss out on
Right.
it.
Right.
Absolutely not want to
Absolutely.
miss out on that. So
It's the only Scrabble in town. Like, it's the only Scrabble fundraiser in town.
That's
so
right.
if you love Scrabble,
yes, why not show up and have some fun?
Have some fun.
Yeah, just don't give a prize for the lowest score, because if I had the lowest score and you gave me a prize for that, I'd cry.
I have to tell you, we did that one year and it was a big no.
Yeah, don't do that again.
Never did it again. I'm talking like 10 years ago or so.
Somebody told me about that they cried. They were
did.
so embarrassed.
We were mortified.
That's okay. But you learn from your mistakes,
Yes,
right?
we did.
Yeah,
we never did that again.
Never do that again, no. We're going to go there and have fun. Absolutely have fun. All right, so we're almost to the end of the program, Denise. Why have you gotten involved with Literacy Volunteers? What does it do for you personally as a member of our community?
I am a reader. I mean, I
Yes.
read all the time. I've read so many books that sometimes I'm halfway through or a third of the way through the book and say, I already read this book. But I believe reading is one of the most important skills anyone could have. Because if you could read, you could learn anything you want.
Yes.
Anything at all.
You could go anywhere you want.
Right.
Right?
Right. I have wanderlust, and one of the first places I want to do was to see out west, because I read all the Little House on the Prairie books in fifth grade, and I just wanted to cross that Mississippi.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to do, to see it.
To see it.
And that's how it all started. It's with books.
It's with books.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember as a kid reading Cherry Ames' Student Nurse, and I used to think I wanted to be a nurse. But it transported me.
It does.
To that world of this young girl that wanted to be a nurse, and imagine people that wouldn't have that pleasure, that way of occupying their mind and their skills. They can't go there because they can't read.
Right. All they know is what they know.
Yeah.
And the other thing for me tutoring adults,
yes,
is when an adult does not read, there is no reading material in the house. There's no newspapers, there's no magazines, there's no books. So the children only come home from school and no one's reading.
Right.
So they equate reading with work.
Yeah, instead of fun.
Right, instead of enjoyment, instead of to learn a personal thing like how to knit or whatever.
Right,
I guess
right,
knitting
right.
more is a visual thing, but you know what I mean.
Yes, I do know what you mean.
But so I want the parents to be able to model for their children. That reading is important.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
because I did that when my kids were little. I would be reading the newspaper and they'd say, "Ma, could we get a snack?" No, they weren't bleeding or anything. So I would say, "You're going to have to wait till I finish this. This is important." And it really wasn't. I was just reading the newspaper. But that was what I wanted them to know, that reading was important.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, Alex is telling me I've only got 1 minute, so
Okay.
I can't. But I could talk to you about experiences like that till the cows come home.
Yeah.
Because that really is why reading is so important.
Yes, it is.
It is.
It's
and why
extremely
parents
important.
need to model the reading for their kids so that they can become readers and not consider it work.
Right.
It's fun.
And it's life, and it's
life-changing.
Well, it's not only that. It's like it could be, if you can't read in English and you have medical, like you get discharged from the hospital, you don't know what you're supposed to be doing.
You could die.
Right, exactly.
You could die. Okay, so now we're going to look right at the camera and we're going to talk about thanking Denise for coming and talking to us about Literacy Volunteers. I think you could see both of our enthusiasms for why Literacy Volunteers is so important. They need tutors. So please, if you get nothing else from this program, if you're in my age group, 60 to 70, you want to do something with your time, or any age, if you have some hours to give, what could be more important than giving your time to teaching an adult in our community how to read? So go to that website and call Denise and become a supporter, if you can, of Literacy Volunteers. So that's all I have today's show. Thank you so much for watching. Denise, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm really, really excited.
And I know you came here under extenuating circumstances.
Yes.
I'm very proud of you. So thank you, and we'll see you again real soon.